Hi there, I'm Catherine, Arcadia Physiotherapy. I'm going to show you a yoga sequence that will help to release the pelvic floor. It's going to be working in conjunction with the breath, as yoga does, and the reason behind the connection is when the diaphragm, in a dome shape where it naturally rests, contracts to flatten, sucking the air in, then the pelvic floor also moves downwards, just to give a little bit more room for the abdominal contents to move up and down. So it's quite a small movement, just like when you breathe in, you can feel your ribs gently expand and contract. It's a similar movement, but often that gets lost when we're stressed out or tired, or when you've, for example, had a baby and it's gone through quite a traumatic process. So this is a great way to sort of regenerate the pelvic floor. So I'm going to be doing these poses. I'm going to hold them for sort of 3 breaths or so, but feel free once you've got to the hang of the sequence to hold them for much longer than that if you fancy relaxing into those postures and have a bit more time to take over this. So standing nicely in mountain pose, and just get yourself nice and steady, feet next to each other, and just start taking some long, low breaths. Think about your posture. Are you tilting your hips forward as you stand, or are you nicely lined up, your shoulder, your hips, and your heels? Take a nice breath in, and reach up and really stretch tall. Try not to stick your bottom out. Try and keep everything in alignment, and just look up towards your thumbs. Then breathe out and take a long, long forward bend. If you want to, you can also just move your feet a little bit further apart in this position. And just feel the back of your legs opening up as you take a nice breath in. Maybe feeling that your pelvic floor is slightly opening in this position. Just feeling a little stretch between your legs. When you're ready, go down onto all fours. Get yourself nice and comfy in quite a square position with your wrists under your shoulders and knees under your hips. So take a nice breath in. Curve your belly down towards the floor, lift your head up. And again, as you breathe in, you should feel a bit of opening between your legs, the back of your hips, and a nice arch in your back. And as you breathe out, curve the other way, arch your back up. Try and make sure that it's happening all through your back, so it's a nice dome shape, not just the upper body, upper shoulders and neck. Okay, breathing in, tummy down, and then breathing out, curving up. So this is the cat, and this is the cat. And as you breathe out and arch your back into the cat, you can also combine that with a pelvic floor contraction. You might even find that the pelvic floor contraction is a little bit stronger if you do it at the same time as breathing out, so it might help you reconnect with your pelvic floor. Final time, cow and cat. And now tuck your feet under and push yourself up into downward dog. So it doesn't matter if your feet aren't getting to the mat, just make sure that your pelvis isn't sort of tilted under. Make sure you can stick your bottom right out. And feel that stretch down the back of your legs. Push away from your hands through the arms. Try and keep fairly straight from your hands to your shoulders to your hips. And spend just 2 or 3 breaths here. So move into the pigeon. So bring the right leg up and then swing it down underneath your body. Okay, you might not be able to achieve this if your hips are a bit stiff, but just go as far as you feel comfortable. And you can tuck your foot under your body if you need to. The pelvic floor muscles are connected to the hip muscles, so this is really useful to just help opening the hips, using the gravity and the weight of your body. Feel a nice stretch in your hip here. nice big belly breaths. On the next in-breath, come back into downward dog, and then rest there for a couple of long out breaths. And then into the pigeon pose with the left leg. So bring the left leg up, come forward and bring it underneath your body. You might feel a difference in one side to the other, one's more bendy than the other. Try and keep your back straight and your chest up. If you want, you can even tilt your head back. And really feel the breath opening up your chest and your abdomen and the hip and letting go. And your next breath in, come back into downward dog, just for a stretch, and then come and sit in the middle of your mat into a nice deep squat. Okay. So in this position again, I'm not a yoga teacher, so I can't get my heels down. Something I'm working on. But just get your feet a little bit wider than your hips. Sit onto them, making sure if you've got dodgy knees, then obviously avoid this pose. I'll show you another one in a moment. Just try and get your balance in this nice wide squat position. And then pop your hands in a prayer position in front of your chest, trying to keep that straight back. And then use your elbows just to bring your knees apart a little and you should feel a bit of a stretch on the inside of the thighs. And again, nice big belly breaths here. You should feel your pelvic floor just relaxing down as you breathe in. And gradually coming back up again as you breathe out. And if you can, if you want to, you can do a pelvic floor contraction on the out breath, but making sure it gets to relax on the in breath. For those of you who aren't comfortable in this position, you can go into a butterfly pose, so feet together in front of you. Make sure you're sitting on your sitting bones rather than slumped back. And wherever you feel happy, if you feel happier with your feet out further, that's fine, or closer in. And again, just use your elbows a little bit to create that stretch in your inner thighs. Nice and tall, nice big belly breaths. When you're ready, roll onto your back. I'm going to have your baby, a nice gentle hip opener again. So on your back, making sure your lower back is nice and flat and connected with the floor. And if you can, reach for your feet on either the inside or you could go on the outside if you prefer. And just secure your feet there and just rock slowly side to side again, making sure the pelvic floor is moving with the breath. Rocking side to side. So we've started with the pelvic floor, we've started to open up the hips, and now, of course, the next thing is the lower back. So again in this position, just bring your knees up again, put your arms out to the side, take a nice breath in, and then drop your knees over to the right side. Trying to keep your shoulders in contact with the floor. You should feel a nice stretch down the opposite side of your body. You can even look to the opposite side to continue that spiral down your body. If your legs can't get to the floor, then stack yourself up with some pillows so your legs can truly relax and feel that genuine stretch through your body. You can even pop your right hand on the leg, so just to weigh it down a little bit, create a bit more stretch through your body. On On the next in-breath, bring your knees back up to the middle. And then go to the other side. Again, you might find a difference in stretchiness one side to the other. And feel it in stretching in different places. So it might be in your hips or your glutes, or even your shoulder. So just breathe deeply into this stretch. When you're ready, roll over, back into the middle and then over onto your tummy. Get yourself nice and comfortable. Cross your hands over at the front and then just rest your forehead on the floor around your hands. Just going to breathe in this position for a few breaths. And if you can breathe into your tummy, you should feel that push your body away from the floor. And you can really engage with an abdominal breath, a great training way to get the hang of it if you're not used to it. Feel it lift the body on the in-breath. Okay, on the next in-breath, just gently push yourself up and sit back on your heels into child's pose. And for the pelvic floor, if you just want to open your knees a little bit further apart, that gives you a bit more reach to just really widen out that pelvic area. And then reach forward with your fingers as you stretch the lower back and the hips and feel the pelvic floor moving with the breath. Okay, and when you're ready, bring yourself up onto all fours. Settle back into a cross-legged position or whatever sitting position you find comfy. And just take a few breaths in a resting position and cross-legged. Place your palms in front of your heart, palms together. And thank you for joining me in the pelvic floor practice. So I hope you found that useful. It's a really useful thing to try for the pelvic floor release in combination with your pelvic floor exercises, because there's no point just tightening. We need to be able to let the muscle relax as well for full function. So I hope you found that useful. I'm Catherine at Arcadia Physiotherapy.